What's good, YouTube? It's your man BG Tech Life, and it's been a week with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. Now, what's ironic is I'm recording this on the 7th, which was supposed to be the official release date, but I got this a week earlier. Shout out to Samsung.com for that. But I must say, it's been a real controversial week, so there's a couple things that we need to touch on a week later. Let's get into it. Okay, YouTube, so it's been 1 week with the S25 Ultra, and we kind of have the same repetitive things when these devices drop. They're compared closely to the device that just dropped last year. Like right now, this device is being compared really hard to the S24 Ultra. And we know in tech right now, it's refinement years. So I'm not really heavy on comparing this to the last device because the last device is still really good. So if you have the last device, you probably shouldn't even be looking at this device in the first place. Now, there's a couple things that come to mind when I think about S25 Ultra and controversy. First thing is these camera rings on the back, guys. This design. Now, I saw the video where Jerry Riggs supposedly just popped these off with a box cutter. And he did do that. But I could pop a lot of things with a box cutter, guys. I'm not worried about these rings coming off. I mean, of course, if I took a knife and put it up under the ring and pried it off, of course, it's gonna come off. Like, that should be expected. I don't know why that was a big deal. But at the same time, I'm just gonna speak on aesthetics. I don't like the black faces on these camera rings. I don't like that it has a black face. I feel like the black clashes with the silver frame that's on this device. So yeah, I'm not worried about the camera rings coming off or being cheap and things of that nature, especially when I'm watching a person on video prying them off with a box cutter. But at the same time, I just don't like the way that this black cover looks and how it's silver on the side. I feel like the whole camera ring should have had a silver look like the S24 Ultra because that goes really nice with the titanium sides, kind of matching. To me, honestly, the black rings over the cameras or the black covers over the cameras, throw it off. Now, as far as the rest of the design on this device go, guys, I will say this is really different from the S24 Ultra because I will say this is much lighter. This device being 218 grams is really refreshing to me. I'm somebody that uses a very, very minimal case. So it's like I'm basically just using a phone. And I noticed that this device just feels so much lighter than the S24 Ultra. So to have a big, nice device, but not have a heft, because at times the S24 Ultra kind of feel like a small brick in hand. I really have been enjoying that this week. I have to be honest with you. But at the same time, if you look at the sides of this device, guys, this is where Samsung made their mistake. The S24 Ultra has a more comfortable frame than the S25 Ultra. They made the sides more square on the S24 Ultra, not producing any curve. So when you have no curve on the sides, in hand, you're gonna feel sharp edges. So this device is lighter, but at the same time, they added sharp edges, and I don't understand why they did that. They should have rounded off the sides just a little bit more to make this device a little bit more comfortable in hand. Now, what they did round off was the corners, and that's cool because you don't have that sharp corner poking you in your hand, but at the same time, guys, they should have rounded the side so you can have that. Even though the S24 Ultra was heavy, the sides felt comfortable in hand, except for you getting poked by a sharp edge. But they should have kept these sides rounded so you don't feel sharp edges in your hand and you can really enjoy how light this device is. Now, as far as the display goes, the flat display is the chef kiss. It's the way to go. I'm using the curved display on my OnePlus 13, and it makes it annoying trying to find the right tempered glass screen protectors and things of that nature. I love this flat display, and with this flat display, Samsung is just straight killing it, guys. With as bright as this display gets, and at the same time you getting 120 hertz, and at the same time you're getting HDR, and the screen to body ratio on this device is 92.5%. These bezels are crazy small. This looks like just a screen damn near. So the screen on this display is just A1, but I mean, that's what we expect from Samsung, leading class. This display just looks amazing. Like, I'm not complaining, the colors look amazing. I like the options where I can turn down the vibrancy, or if I want to make it natural, everything is there. This display is straight cooking, especially with that screen to body ratio of 92.5%, small bezels, and being flat. So you're getting the edge to edge S Pen action. Now, I'll be honest with y'all, I'm an S Pen user, guys. I utilize the S Pen a lot. I picked this device up because I like the fact that it has an S Pen. Now, as far as this device losing Bluetooth on the S Pen, I don't like losing any feature. I feel like sometimes these companies get the wrong impression because they talk to the wrong people. You have a lot of people that review devices, just all they do is review devices and go to iPhones and things of that nature. So when they use a device like a Galaxy, they don't care about the S Pen because that's not what they natively use. It's not their thing. It's a following of people that use Galaxies and love the S Pen. And Samsung needs to talk to those people at times, because when you talk to certain reviewers that mainly use iPhones and they'll review an Android phone, oh, I don't care about the S Pen, I forget about the S Pen. These are the type of things that they say. So Samsung is under the belief that they're making a device and nobody cares about this S Pen feature. It's people that use, the people that go out and actually buy Galaxy phones and utilize Galaxy phones, and is what is their favorite phone, they utilize the S Pen. It's the noise that comes from the review community that don't even really use the Samsung Galaxy, only for maybe 2 weeks or a month, just the reviewer to do whatever they're gonna do with it and move on back to their favorite device, probably an iPhone, just being honest with y'all. I feel like sometimes real Galaxy users are set up by faux Galaxy users that just review the device and say, I don't care about the S Pen, and give the manufacturer the wrong idea, and the manufacturer think they can dial back on features. Now, as far as the camera system on the S25 Ultra, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have to do a little bit more testing, but the testing that I've done, I found the real difference in processing. I believe, me coming from an S24 Ultra, this is a powerful camera system. The only lens or the only sensor that's changed on the S25 Ultra is the ultra wide sensor, which is now 50 megapixels. So that's a good thing, and I have to put that to the test. But what I have noticed is when I take high res photos, 50 megapixels, 200 megapixel photos with the S25 Ultra, the processing is coming out way better, and it's processing those pictures faster. I noticed on my S24 Ultra, I feel like if I took a 200 megapixel or some 50 megapixel pictures, at times when the device was processing, it felt like the picture just fell apart after it was processed and didn't look appealing at all. But now I'm actually getting a decent finished product when I take a 200 megapixel picture or 50 megapixel picture. The processing looks fairly decent as far as point and shoot goes. And as far as the video goes, this is just still one of the strongest video cameras on the Android side of things, and get solid video for content creation. Now, it's only been a week, but as far as power, efficiency, and things like that on the S25 Ultra, the Snapdragon 8 Elite is just a next level type chip. And I mean really next level, because the performance difference even between the last iteration of the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3 and the Snapdragon 8 Elite, is a pretty big leap that we usually don't see from year to year. And as I utilize this phone, I just feel how powerful it is. I haven't done anything on this phone, and I've done a lot of things on this phone trying to get it to tick, where it does everything with ease. I can game at 120 hertz playing Call of Duty with ease, guys. And I mean with multiple rounds and no thermal issues, nothing like that. This phone is incredibly powerful. But I feel like ever since the S23 Ultra, Samsung has came to the table with the same song and dance. Really good, powerful devices because of the Snapdragon processors that they put in them, but Samsung themselves haven't introduced anything innovative or groundbreaking. But at the same time, we gotta dig a little deeper and see what else can be done with this device. But at the same time, remind Samsung, it's time to innovate. It's time to take the Ultra to the next level instead of getting rid of features. It's your boy BG Tech Life. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Thanks for watching. I'm out. Peace.